The night was cold, and the city streets glistened under the dim glow of flickering street lamps. A drizzle had fallen earlier, leaving the sidewalks damp, reflecting the headlights of cars rushing past. Amidst the noise of engines and hurried footsteps, a woman walked slowly, clutching a paper bag close to her chest. It wasn't much, just leftover food from the diner where she sometimes helped clean tables late at night in exchange for scraps. To others, it would look like trash, but to her, it meant survival. She kept her head down, embarrassed, almost hiding the bag as if afraid someone might notice. Hunger had a way of stealing dignity, and tonight, hunger was her only companion. But destiny has a strange way of weaving lives together. Across the street, a little boy sat in the back seat of a car with his father. They were waiting at the signal, the boy staring out the window, lost in his thoughts. Suddenly, his small hand pressed against the glass, and his wide eyes filled with recognition. His heartbeat quickened, and in a voice trembling with shock and longing, he whispered words that made his father freeze. "Daddy, it's her." Before I take you deeper into this emotional journey, pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, in the power of second chances, and in the beauty of helping others when they need it most, then please don't forget to like this video, share it with your loved ones, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us keep bringing stories that remind the world of humanity's light. The boy's father turned his head, curious, and followed his son's gaze. There, under the dull glow of a broken streetlight, stood the woman with the paper bag. Her clothes were worn, her shoes scuffed, and her hair tangled by the night's wind. Yet beneath that roughness, something about her struck him, something familiar. He squinted, trying to place the face that time and hardship had reshaped. The boy's voice cracked with emotion as he repeated, louder this time, "Daddy, it's her." The man's chest tightened. Memories came rushing back, memories he had locked away for years. A face from the past, a chapter he had never wanted to revisit. He tried to shake it off, telling himself it couldn't be true, but deep inside, he knew his son was right. The woman carrying leftover food was no stranger. She was someone who once held an irreplaceable place in his life. Years ago, she had been full of life, radiant, ambitious, and strong-willed. She wasn't just a passerby in his story. She was the love he once lost, the person he had thought he'd never see again. But life had not been kind to her. Choices, circumstances, betrayals, and battles that no one else could see had dragged her down into a world of loneliness. And now, here she was, reduced to surviving off scraps. The man's son, too young to understand the complexities of adult heartbreak, only saw kindness. To him, she wasn't the broken figure standing alone. She was the woman who once bent down on a sunny afternoon years ago, outside a school playground, and tied his shoelaces when he was too small to do it himself. She was the stranger who had bought him a candy bar when his father had forgotten his wallet at the store. She was the gentle voice that had told him, "Always share, little one, because someone might need it more than you." Those tiny moments had stayed with the boy, and now, seeing her in this fragile state shattered his little heart. The traffic light turned green, and cars behind them honked impatiently. But the man couldn't move. His hands gripped the steering wheel, torn between shame, regret, and an ache he couldn't describe. The woman looked up briefly, noticing the car, but her eyes quickly darted away. Pride, or maybe pain, kept her from staring too long. She turned to walk down the alley, disappearing into the shadows. The boy tugged at his father's sleeve, pleading, "Daddy, please, we can't just leave her like that." What followed was not easy. The father parked the car and, with his son, followed the trail of the woman. They found her sitting on the steps of a closed shop, carefully unwrapping the food as though it were something precious. She took small bites, savoring every crumb, unaware that she was being watched. The boy's innocent voice broke the silence, calling out softly. She looked up, startled, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and disbelief. Tears welled in her eyes as she saw them standing there. For a moment, time froze. She wanted to hide, to vanish, to escape the shame of being seen like this. But the boy's smile disarmed her, pure and genuine, without judgment. He walked closer and said, I told Daddy it was you." She tried to speak, but words failed her. Her throat tightened, and all she could manage was a shaky nod. The father, standing a few steps behind, finally found his voice. His words weren't of accusation or pity, but something softer. Life had broken them both in different ways, but in that moment, neither the past nor the pain mattered. What mattered was the truth staring them in the face. She was in need, and he couldn't turn away. That night marked the beginning of change. It wasn't easy. Helping her meant digging through wounds long buried. There were struggles with trust, tears shed in silence, and moments when she almost walked away, convinced she didn't deserve kindness anymore. But the boy, with his innocence and love, became the bridge. He reminded them both of the good that still lived inside people, even when life tried to crush it. Weeks turned into months. She slowly regained her strength. With support, she found steady work and began to reclaim her dignity. The woman who once hid her face in shame now walked with her head held higher. And while the past between her and the man remained complicated, there was something undeniable that grew again. Respect, understanding, and perhaps the flicker of a second chance. But the true hero of the story was the boy. His unwavering compassion had sparked the reunion. His simple recognition, "Daddy, it's her," had altered the course of 3 lives. Sometimes it takes the innocence of a child to remind adults of truths they've forgotten. That people are not defined by their lowest moments. That kindness can resurrect what pain has buried. And that love, in its purest form, asks for nothing in return. As the story closes, imagine them together at a dinner table months later, not in silence or shame, but in laughter. The leftover food she once clutched is now replaced by warm meals shared with people who care. The boy beams with pride, knowing that his voice, his compassion, changed everything. And perhaps that's the lesson we all need. That one act of kindness, one refusal to turn away, can rewrite an entire destiny. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of kindness and second chances, please let us know. Like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with others who need hope, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement isn't just support, it's a way of spreading more light in a world that desperately needs it.